brain and body with interactive games and tests. Why is there no physical activity in today's health physical? Trazer is an holistic technology used to rehabilitate, prevent falls, and improve sport performance. Trazer reports provide you, your clinician, your physical therapist, or athletic trainer objective data to make decisions on your health and performance over time. Measure what matters to change your game. Take the Trazer Challenge. Confidence, growth, connected by Trazer.
What up, sports fans? It's a sports reporter without pay representing the sideline sports and the sports arena. More breaking news. I know y'all so sick of us. Let's get the crew in here. We got Jacob and we got John. Just on here last night, man. Movements is crazy. John, you weren't on here last night, so we was talking about the AFC West, but then today, the Cleveland Browns land their guy. Talk to me about it, John. Your instant thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they didn't get quite as much as they had talked about getting, right? I mean, they talked about 3 firsts, which they did get. Then they got a future third, and then they basically swapped. They got a 4th, but then they threw in a 5th. So, like they didn't get as much as they had asked. Remember, they wanted 2 star players from the Dolphins and 3 firsts, back when that was a thing. So they kind of moved
2 star players from the Dolphins.
They wanted 2 star players and
the Dolphins have 2 star players.
They have 2 star players. Plenty of star players.
Okay.
But I mean, they moved off of their perch a little bit, right? They asked for a lot more than this, and they kind of backed down. They still got their 3 firsts, but they didn't get any players in return that they were hoping for originally. So I thought that was interesting how they backed down just a little bit. And you weren't going to get 3 firsts and 2 star players. Just wasn't happening. But it's crazy how $230 million all guaranteed to Watson, all guaranteed. Never saw that before. Rodgers has all the guaranteed money, the record for that. Now Watson shatters that record.
Let's bring E right on in here. Before we get to him, Jacob, talk to me. Deshaun Watson is now a Cleveland Brown. This is an organization that over the past, 20 years, like they've had no stability at that position. As a matter of fact, shout out to James Tatum in the comments. He was telling me they was doing Baker Mayfield wrong because Baker Mayfield, and that's not saying a lot, has been the longest tenured quarterback there over the last 20 years. But now they have Deshaun Watson. Your thoughts?
Well, how do you like my new background? It's the opposite of witness protection.
You are back in the car again.
No, it's the opposite of witness protection. I'm lit and it's back, but it's dark. But here's the thing, though. One of the biggest issues is the fact that the Browns better work. They gave up 3 first round and then a couple others. They basically gave Houston a good team over the years. Houston's got a future now. They really do, and they've got a teacher at the helm. And they got some teachers at the helm there, so they're going to get better. Cleveland, they're going for it. They have to say they're going for it now. And if it doesn't work out, they are screwed for a decade. They completely are. And I still don't know what's going to go on with Deshaun Watson and the civil cases. And I don't know if there's going to be a suspensions in the midst of all this. So I don't know what the Browns are really doing. If they're trying to think that they're going for a Super Bowl now, plus there's going to be protesters. You're adding a lot of issues to all this.
So I'm gonna come over to you, Eric, because we've talked about this all off season, all these different teams that we felt were a quarterback away. And he said maybe they're going all in. Again, we got to look at the history. Tampa Bay just did it. LA just did it. So everyone's looking, going, man, if we can get that guy in the center, we can do something. They have Kareem Hunt, they have Nick Chubb, you have Myles Garrett turning into a stud on defense. Did Cleveland make the right move?
Oh, that's a good question, Raylan. Did Cleveland make the right move? No, they didn't. And here's my reason why. I have been a huge proponent of the fact that the Cleveland Browns, I have picked up the handle and the mantra of our brother Alex Fleming to say Cleveland Browns aren't relevant. Okay. Now you add Deshaun Watson, that makes them viable and that makes them relatable. But you're in a division with Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm.
And I still would say you're number 3 on that list.
Yep.
Okay. So Cleveland can have all the weapons in the world, which they had at one time. And we said they were a quarterback away. They said Baker Mayfield, I said it, wasn't the guy. Well, now you got Deshaun Watson. But to everything that Jacob said, you don't know how long he's going to be suspended. You don't know how long it's going to take for him to build that chemistry with the rest of that team.
Mm-hmm.
If this was Cleveland's all-in move to get Deshaun Watson, then you damn sure better add some more pieces like the Rams did last year to make them a relevant team. Because right now, they're still, to me, even Pittsburgh, who doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, yeah, I guess they got Mitchell Trubisky and Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins, but that doesn't equate. That equates to one of the 5 of us, though I'm playing quarterback. They got to make some moves still. I got to see what they do in the draft. I got to see what they do in free agency, because Cleveland to me is still just Cleveland.
So I'm about to get Mike in here because he is sitting in the background with this smug grin on his face, and I don't know why. But before I bring him in, I'm gonna bring him in and segue with this, Mike. Eric just said that he may still be number 3 on the. Yes, Mike is in the car. He is pulling the Jacob. So Eric says that Deshaun Watson is number 3 on the list. I would remind people that Houston got rid of his number 1 weapon, and then all he did the last year he played was lead the league in passing yards while completing 70% of his passes with 33 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. The guy is pretty good. Talk to me, Mike. Is Deshaun Watson the 3rd best quarterback in the AFC North?
No. And look, I get it. I would say there's an argument for each, but what Deshaun Watson can do, you stole my thunder there. That's what I was thinking when Eric said it. First of all, the Browns are now relevant. Yes, I want to see what they do in the draft, Eric, but the Browns are extremely relevant. I get the suspension part. I get that it's going to be it could be something. Again, it's civil, and if the NFL's investigating and there's no criminal, again, if he settles and pays, that's not admitting that he's just settling. So if he wants to push the civil out, that could make it worse for him. He's going to pay. And look, if he did do something wrong, like we've all said from the beginning, it's on him. So, yes, there should be something to pay. But if anything, yes, he did get paid all last year. Yes, he was on the roster. If it is 2 or 4 games, okay. But that running game that we love so much, you put him in there with those numbers that Raylan just said, with no Nuke, our boy Nuke, with no Nuke, and that terrible. I mean, in the time he was there, even before he was there, they never got the offensive line right. If the guards were playing well or the right side was playing well, the left side was terrible. If the left side was terrible or somebody got hurt, then – or if the left side was good, the right side was terrible. I mean, their offensive line was just atrocious. They never had a chemistry together in the whole time he was there. So, look, I love this for Cleveland. I think you can win with Baker Mayfield, but there is no way I'm saying no to our boy Deshaun Watson, Eric. There is no way.
Mike, I'm not saying no to Deshaun Watson. What I'm saying to you is simply this. Let's look at the facts here. Baltimore is going to get better. We already know this. Baltimore was plagued with injuries all last year, and they still found a way to get the job done. Yes or no? Yes, thank you. Hold your mouth. So secondly, Cincinnati, a team that went from 2-14, 2-14. Quarterback had a torn ACL, came back earlier than expected, and what happened? He got whooped by Tennessee and still won. He beat Kansas City in Kansas City and almost won the Super Bowl in Cincinnati. What does that mean? Cincinnati's going to get better. Okay? Mike Tomlin has not had a losing season his entire coaching career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I fully expect him to get that team to a positive status. Who does that leave? The Cleveland Browns. Okay? The Cleveland Browns, Mike. I got Deshaun Watson. I got love for the brother. I'm glad he's finally out of Houston. I hope this whole civil litigation thing is gone and whatever happens so he can play. But they are not in a position, as currently constructed, to be considered a relevant team in the AFC North. I still got love for Lamar. I still got love for Joe Burrow. And Deshaun Watson, my hope is that he's only suspended 4 games. You can't miss 6 games at a 17-game season and think you're going to go 11-6.
Right.
I don't know who the backup is for Cleveland, and I don't care. But Deshaun Watson, first off, last point, he hasn't played. He hasn't played since 2021. He has not.
Yeah, but it's not like he was injured. He's got fresh legs. And lastly, I'll say this: if you go straight up talent-wise, overall quarterback talent, throwing, reading, running, Deshaun Watson is number 1 in the North now from a straight up talent level.
So real quick,
straight
Mike,
up talent level.
Let me interject with this
I'm
here.
gonna let you have your moment because you clearly. To quote our brother, we haven't said this in a long time, so I know he's smiling down when I say this. Mike Caratanudo, you need to be drug tested.
Oh no,
Dude, that's straight.
Hey, so hold on just a second, Mike. And shout out to my guy in the comments, Courtney Kennedy. He pretty much made the comment, same thing Eric point he was making is, hey, this guy hasn't played in a year. So we've been kind of literally salivating over the AFC West for the past couple of days, right? Now, in the AFC West, you have Patrick Mahomes, the MVP and the Super Bowl champ. You have Russell Wilson, the Super Bowl champ. And you have a young stud in Justin Herbert.
Yep.
But then in the AFC North, Derek Carr's he's the redheaded stepchild in that division. Just like in the AFC North, Mitchell Trubisky is the redheaded stepchild in the division. But the other 3 guys, the other 3 guys in the AFC North in the past couple of years, one won an MVP, one was just in the Super Bowl, and one led the league in passing last time he played. So my question to you, John Scheer, because I don't think you like what Eric had to say.
No,
in fact, I think you were mad you were in timeout.
It's terrible.
Who has the better quarterbacks, the AFC North or the AFC West?
Mitch Trubisky's in the AFC North. So, that automatically gives the West that win because Trubisky is just terrible.
I'll tell you this.
He's going to do nothing. He's going to do nothing with the Steelers.
He's better than Tua.
Hey, John.
Are we talking about the AFC East or are we talking about the AFC North?
Bait. John, don't take that bait. Don't take that bait.
Okay, thank you.
John, if let's just say you have Mahomes at number 1. There's a case to be made if you took the 8 quarterbacks in those 2 divisions and Mahomes is number 1. There's a case that the next 3 are in the AFC North.
I can't put Burrow over a Russell Wilson. That's just insane. Burrow's played one year, like 1 year where it was great. You know what I mean? Like his body work is just 1 year. You know what I mean? They had a losing record in his rookie year before he got hurt. Like it's not like he was leading them to the playoffs in his rookie year. They had a losing and a bad losing record in his rookie year. So let's not forget that. I know this is his rookie year, but then you people are just crazy to tell me that Burrow is better than Deshaun Watson. You're insane. Have you seen what Deshaun Watson has done in this league? He's the best quarterback in this division. He's Lamar Jackson, but can throw. He's the best quarterback. The Browns are the best team in the division, the best defense in the division, best running game, best quarterback, best offensive line. Like, what more do you want? They got Amari Cooper, which is pretty nice for Deshaun Watson to have. I don't know what you're thinking, Eric. Like, what do these other teams in the division have over the Browns? Defense? No. Run game, no. Offensive line, no. Quarterback, no. Oh, what are they going to have over them? You're not going to tell me Zach Taylor is better than Kevin Stefanski? No. Like, what do the Bengals have over them? Like, I have no idea what you're thinking. This is crazy,
So
man.
Really quick, hey Jacob, and
Maybe
I know
he's
you
drinking
watch
because
the
it's
show.
the weekend.
I know Jacob watches the show on the Sideline Sports We All Family, but these three guys and myself, we do this all the time. This is like Stephen A. and Shannon, Skip. Like, this is what we do. So let me get Jacob in here. You've heard both sides of this coin in terms of Deshaun Watson. Eric is saying he ain't played in a year. We overvaluating the talent. John is saying he is smoking. Somebody needs to be drug tested in here. Jacob, make some sense of all of this.
Care Tenuto, you're acting like a fanboy on Twitter. Seriously.
Wrong.
It's like, you are. It's like, oh, he hasn't played in a year. It's like,
wasn't hurt.
I have said this. I have said this part. It's like, it's not going to make a lot of difference. He'll still be good, but you're still forgetting that he's missed some reps. Number one. And Shearer, you got to realize that as much as you keep getting on Trubisky, and he is the worst in the division. He is the worst division. I will say this, but as much as you get on him, he's 500 yards less in his first 4 years than Ben Roethlisberger was. 500 yards less. He has a plus 26 career and interception, touchdown to interception. You guys are treating him like he's Ryan Leaf. He is the worst in the division. He's the worst in the division. There's no question. But he's just going to do his job. That's all he needs to do. Everybody else can be the star. He's got a great coach. Let's let him be at that.
So let me I want to get Eric back in here, because from the time he last spoke, he had Mike throwing shots at him. He had John throwing shots at him. I want to let Eric get back in here and defend his stance that Deshaun Watson maybe might not be all of that. Talk to him, Eric.
Let me just say this to y'all, okay? Again, I don't know why this is a handicap match between Cara Tenuto and Shearer versus me. And shout out to my man Jarrell. Do I think Amari Cooper can produce?
Coming up, so
hopefully out of, and now that he's out of Dallas, hopefully he'll earn his money. But aside from that, Mike Cara Tenuto, what do you and I always talk about when it comes to football? We talk about the consistency, we talk about the continuity, and we talk about the ability to lead your team to get the job done. Okay, I believe that Deshaun Watson can do that. I don't believe he can do that this season with the Browns, simply because of the suspensions. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. You can't miss 6 games and think that he's just going to come in and be able to take this team to the postseason. Okay? Deshaun Watson has to get a familiarity with the players on the team. He's not going back to Houston, where he played for so many years. Okay, hold on. I'm not done, because I'm going to address John too. And John, I never said Deshaun Watson wasn't the best quarterback out of the 4. I said the Browns as a whole were the 3rd best team in that division. So make sure you get your facts straight before
okay,
you
but what's
John,
what is better?
Zip it. I'm not done with you yet.
Just say
what I'm saying to you is simply this, John Shear. Overall, the Cleveland Browns are the 3rd best team in the AFC North, based on experience, based on chemistry, and based on the fact that the Baltimore Ravens, your Baltimore Ravens, John Shear, are going to get better. If the Cincinnati Bengals build their offensive line, they are going to be better. Okay?
They did.
Which
yeah,
means
they did.
Cleveland.
They added 2 pieces, so they did.
Fine. Thank you. So thank you for making my point. So what that means is Cleveland is coming in at 3rd. I want Deshaun Watson to be successful. Let me be very clear about this. I want Deshaun Watson to get his money. I want these civil litigations to go away. And I want him to get back to playing football, because we know on the field that brother is lights out. But going into a system, and again, having to change the culture, he's not going to do it this year. As much as we want to think he's an anomaly and he can get it done, I don't believe he gets it done this year.
So let's throw this part out. We keep talking about suspension, and somebody made a comment that I was thinking about this already. What's the chances he gets time served already? The man missed the whole year. Right?
Okay, and that's my caveat. That's my caveat, Raymond. If it's time served and he doesn't get 6 games, 4 games, 2 games, then I could drink the Kool-Aid that John and Mike are drinking today. But until that suspension is either removed or we know how many games it's going to be, I can't get on board with the Cleveland Browns being the best team in the AFC North. That is what's holding me up. You want to know what's holding me up? That's what's holding me up.
I'm saying Deshaun Watson's the best quarterback in that league with his accuracy. He's not going to forget how to throw a ball. It's not like he's going to pull.
I never said he wasn't the best quarterback. I said the Cleveland Browns team.
Okay,
Mike.
but everybody
listen, Mike. There ain't an I in team, but there's an I in Eric, and I'm telling you right now, the Cleveland
There's
Browns.
an I in Eric.
The Cleveland Browns overall are the third best team in the AFC.
Are you
North.
kidding me? Their defense is better than Baltimore's as constructed right now. Their defense is better, hands down. Now, if you want to say Baltimore offensive line-wise can match up with them, okay, I'd give a slight advantage to Cleveland if everybody's fully healthy offensive line-wise. Yep. Now, Pittsburgh offensive line is terrible. But as for Deshaun Watson, as for time served, Raylan, there's no way, because he wasn't on the commissioner's exemption list last year, and he got all his money for just being the fourth-string quarterback that held the clipboard or whatever. He was at practice every day. They talked about it. So just because they didn't play him, they never suspended him, and he was never on the commissioner's exempt list. So if it does lead to a suspension, I doubt it. I'm not with Eric thinking it's 6 games. I'm saying, if anything, it might be 4, maybe 3, just because to the point with time served, they can say, well, okay, he didn't play it. They didn't try and challenge it last year. He didn't play it. It wasn't a mess. They might do that, and if it's civil and there's no criminal, I mean, the NFL can't say, well, oh, no, we're punishing him criminally or according to criminal things, yada, yada, yada. But look, talent-wise, Eric, to respond to you, yes, you are. I know you're saying that. But if Cleveland has that run game, chemistry to hell, Deshaun Watson is more accurate than my boy, and you know I love Lamar Jackson. You know I wanted Lamar Jackson in a Cowboys uniform, which wasn't going to happen. But I said the Cardinals should have drafted Lamar Jackson. They had the chance, and they didn't touch Lamar Jackson. That was stupid. So Lamar Jackson, look, is he getting better as a passer? Raylan kept dropping those numbers Tyree dropped those numbers all the time last year. Yes, he is getting more accurate. But Deshaun Watson, from an accuracy standpoint, with the running game like he's never had before, and an offensive line, dude, if it's 6 games, I'm with you. Forget the division. The playoffs would be very tough because it's Case Keenum. I'll concede that to you all day long. But if it's 3 games, forget that. They have a shot at the division, and with that offensive line and that running game, all right, you can say all you want. I guess you guys forgot that PFF. Hold on. PFF had them in the top 3 to 5 all year long in offensive line grades. So I'll go with Pro Football.
Yeah. So
did you freeze him or did he freeze himself?
I didn't freeze him. He talked too much anyway.
So
is he back? Is he back? Nice
sideways, but yeah.
So Mike's having some technical difficulties. Hopefully he get that together. I will say this much, right? The person who should be upset in all of this is Lamar Jackson. Every organization can seemingly go out and get their quarterback weapons. Deshaun Watson walks into a situation where they just picked up Amari Cooper. He has Nick Chubb. He has Kareem Hunt. You look up the street, Joe Burrow has a load of weapons, right? Derek Carr gets Devontae Adams, and Baltimore cannot seem to go get this man a weapon. And speaking of weapons, the rich get richer. Devontae Adams comes to the AFC West. Russell Wilson comes. Chargers make all these moves. And we were just saying last night, Chiefs ain't really made no moves. And what do they do today? The Kansas City Chiefs go out and get Juju Smith-Schuster, who, for all intents and purposes, when Antonio Brown left, no, he didn't live up to the hype we thought, but now he's your number 3 guy. There's a Tyreek Hill. There's a Travis Kelce, right? Juju Smith-Schuster is now the number 3 weapon on the Kansas City Chiefs. Did the rich just get richer? How much better is KC? Talk to me, John.
Well, offensively, that's great for them. They haven't fixed the defense. We're going to be talking about this all year long, how those defensive issues show up. Tyrann Mathieu's gone, which is huge. I know they got Reed, but losing Mathieu, he's a big player on that defense. But offensively, I mean, yeah, Juju definitely helps. If he does, we saw it with Antonio Brown. If he doesn't have to be the guy, he can be the guy. He can show up and ball. He knows how to play football if he doesn't have to be the number one. I mean, he showed that with AB. So when Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce take the looks, what's going to happen is Juju's going to be open. And he can burn you. He definitely can hurt you. That's what's going to happen. I think that's what the Chiefs are thinking. I think it's a fantastic move because, I mean, I think there'll be a lot of discipline with Andy Reid there, keeping him in check. And really, I mean, to me, this is kind of like his last opportunity to showcase himself, because he kind of fell off once AB left. And this is his chance, kind of like when Jameis Winston went to the Saints. It was kind of like a way to, rebrand yourself. So I think this is good for Juju, a long-term and short-term.
So let me get down here to Jacob.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the comments are saying, hey, they didn't fix the defense, right?
Yeah.
But this was Kansas City's MO. They were gonna outscore you. And we saw a lot of teams last year bracketing Tyreek Hill. We're gonna bracket Tyreek Hill. We're gonna put our best nickel cover on Kelce and make somebody else beat him. But this isn't DeMarcus Robinson. This isn't Sammy Watkins. This is Juju Smith-Schuster. How much of a difference this is gonna make?
I wasn't impressed in Pittsburgh. I wasn't impressed in Pittsburgh. He'll be a cog. He'll be part of the scheme. He'll be fine. But I'm not going to say he's going to be, monster. He's not going to be a monster difference maker in that place. And by the way, Tenuto, the minute you brought up PFF, you make me want to make the Browns dead last in the division. I mean, PFF. I mean, talk about the riches. The rich to get richer. I'm talking about Collinsworth with ridiculous PFF. But the biggest issue right now is the fact. Now, what does KC do? It's like, I'm not fond of Juju. I think Juju's kind of just part of this. I think he's better than Pringle. Pringle, obviously. Duh. Yeah. But one of the biggest issues we have right now is what are they going to do in the draft? What are they going to do they're actually obviously drafting a little teeny bit higher, but what are they going to do about that? What are they going to do in other parts of free agency? Are they going to do more? I still believe they are a division winner, but at this point in time, they could easily be out of the playoffs early. At this point, until they prove wrong otherwise.
Eric, I'm coming to you. One of the comments, and I know this guy personally, he's a Raiders fan. He just win, baby. But he said this before the move, and he's standing by it, that the Raiders' weapons are better than Kansas City's. So you look at the Raiders, Devontae Adams, Renfro, Jacobs, Waller. Who has the better weapons, them or KC, with Tyreek, with Travis, with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and now the addition of Juju Smith? Are you taking KC or are you taking the Vegas Raiders?
I still got to take the Chiefs simply because of number Mahomes, 15. Simply because of that, I've got to take Patrick Mahomes and the weapons that he has over Derek Carr and the new weapons that he has acquired. It's a difficult thing. But until Kansas City is truly knocked off their throne, because to John's point, and I'll give John this much, Cincinnati, they did it. I need to see it again, but I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I got faith in the orange and black. You know what I mean? I got faith in the Bengals. But I got to see more from the Las Vegas Raiders because Derek Carr, he's a scrappy guy. He's a guy that needs to get right because I think we're going to start asking the question, is Derek Carr the problem in Vegas? Because again, you're giving him what he needs. You're giving him the tools and the resources to be successful. But yet you still ain't getting the job done. Patrick Mahomes was 3-4 to start the season last season. 3-4 at the bottom of the AFC West, and people were like, what's going on with Kansas City? Yet they still found a way to make it back to the AFC Championship game. So because of those reasons, I have to go with Kansas City having the weapons. Not saying that Vegas doesn't, but again, I got to see it. See, that's my eye test. You can have everybody around you.
You can be paper champions.
But it's very much, thank you. But it's very much like the five of us on this screen. If we don't work well together, the show's going to suck. Mm-hmm. Okay? But we have a chemistry. The people who join us know what to expect. We have that level of expectation. I'll put it as eloquently as this. And John and Mike and Raylan, you know what I'm trying to say when I say this, because I've said it numerous times. I don't work with people who don't have the same energy, the same passion, and the same drive as me. Okay? It's just that simple. So if Vegas, as now currently constructed, they all have that passion, that drive, and that hunger to dethrone the Chiefs, because we know it's possible, then show it to me and make me a believer. But the Chiefs still are, they the top ones in the AFC.
So we're going to segue to, we're talking just AFC West, right? I don't think either one of you, John or Eric, were on the show last night, and Mike's still having difficulties with getting him back, because I wanted to come to him first and then kind of toss this around the room. Eric already said the AFC as a whole is still the Chiefs to lose, but just the AFC West, right? Every team has made moves this offseason to try to make a run at the guys who've been on top, right? Denver goes and get their quarterback. Vegas goes and gets weapons for their quarterback, and the Chargers have just been super busy, and they loaded up on defense. They re-signed Jackson. They still have his name is escaping me on the other side, the young quarterback. He's a stud too. They go pick up Khalil Mack, put him on the other side of Bosa, shared up the defense, re-signed Mike Williams. How much longer is this Kansas City's division, Mike?
Well, and plus you forgot to mention my favorite guy. He's under contract with Keenan Allen. I mean, him and Mike Williams healthy. You got two small forwards going down the field that can just high point anything. So look, I mean, it's going to be close, and especially with what the Raiders did on defense too. Because Eric, we had this discussion in the beginning of the season. Yes, we knew Chandler Jones wasn't going to get 5 sacks a game, but the Cardinals should have paid him. What that just did for the Raiders, and we brought it up on Wednesday, is all about is pass rush. You need to get to these quarterbacks. You need guys that can rip through and get there. And I mean, now that the Raiders have Crosby and Jones opposite sides of each other, that's insane. The Chargers, 100% with you. We talked about that on Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, I'll say this: if the Chiefs get out to a 3-4 start again, or something like that, and the Chargers and or the Raiders or the Broncos get out to 5-1, 4-2, it's going to be very, very tough for the Chiefs to win the division. I'm not going to say they're not going to go to the playoffs. I'm not going to pull a Milwaukee Bucks and say, oh, they're not going to the playoffs. But
shots fired.
It's shrinking, Raylan. It is shrinking. And all I know is that, look, the AFC is tougher. And I just got to say this real quick, because I couldn't jump on last night. I had a game, a whole Devontae Adams thing. It could not have happened to a better whiny quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. And I know Eric was stoked too. It could not have happened to a better whiny quarterback. And look, there's no doubt in my lifetime and in our lifetimes, Aaron Rodgers, from a straight talent standpoint, arm strength, angle, everything, is probably the most talented quarterback that's ever touched the field.
Yeah.
Because it's effortless to him, and that's the thing. There's quarterbacks that, yes, they have the mechanics and they have to do it right every time, and that's what made Drew Brees so great. But from a mechanical standpoint, I'll never take anything away from Aaron Rodgers. Eric knows that. From a personal standpoint, as a teammate, Raylan, I've said this before, I would have been in practice, I would have taken a run at Aaron Rodgers. You can't hit the quarterback, I would have lit him up because of his attitude. That's all I'm saying.
Quick. Sideline Sports, Northern Sports Arena are responsible for the words and thoughts of Michael Carretanudo. Those are his words and his thoughts, and we are not responsible for the words that come out of his mouth.
All right, but go back to the AFC West. Look, it is a close gap, but I'm always with Eric on this, and people say it's antiquated or not. You can't, whatever. You can't, it's the Chiefs division until somebody takes it, because last I checked, Andy Reid's still there, Eric Bieniemy's still there, and Eric and mine's absolute pain in the rear end defensive coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, is there. So if that brain trust is there, yes, it is their division to lose. But from a talent standpoint, I could see where you could say the Raiders are equal. They might
oh my God! For those of y'all who do not watch Sports Arena, this is a typical Michael Caretanudo answer. Yes, it's the Chiefs, but I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I said talent.
The Raiders, they are talented enough. I promise I'm taking the Chiefs, But the Raiders are that is a.
But
Michael
any one of these
Carotenuto
4 teams in the
special.
division could win the
That is-
division. I'm picking them all.
That is a Michael
No,
Carotenuto special, folks.
God. Okay, let me back in. First of all, I'm saying it is the Chiefs'
You
division.
picked all 64
So,
teams in the bracket.
Answer that question. But to answer the other question of the first question you asked, from a talent standpoint, their talent levels now at the skill positions, Mahomes does have the advantage over Carr. Fine, but Carr's no slouch. But you go across the field, Mahomes is the one that tips it to the Chiefs. But it is their division to lose. But when you say talent, don't tell me the Raiders don't have enough talent to compete. That's
Mike, I have to ask you this. Who did the
Don't.
Raiders lose on the defensive side? Who did they lose? Because nobody's talking about it.
Well, they waived Nassib. I know that.
They lost Casey
So John,
Hayward.
go ahead, jump right in. You talk to.
They
go ahead and
lost
take on the AFC
Casey
West.
Hayward.
Right.
If you
And they
don't
got
know what
Chandler
kind of
Jones.
season, if you don't know what kind of season this guy had, it was an all-pro type of season. That's
Okay.
how good he played for the Raiders, and he's gone. And they replaced him with nothing at the cornerback spot, which means it doesn't matter if you get Chandler Jones. If you have nobody to cover back there,
Okay, that's a
it
ridiculous
doesn't matter
statement.
who your defensive
That's
line
a
is if you don't
ridiculous
got
statement.
cornerbacks.
Real quick, I want to keep John in there.
For real, like that's an all-pro type of corner, and he's gone.
John,
Nobody's
I want to
talking
keep
about
you
it.
in there because I want you to tell us who you think is going to win the division. But speaking of losing somebody, and he made this comment on our live last night, the Chiefs lost their leader on defense. They lost the guy that makes all the plays, right? You don't just lose a honey badger and not replace him. But again, I said I think the Chiefs, their MO is going to be we're going to try to outscore everybody.
Well, they got Justin Reed, who they really like, so we'll see if that works out. But that's who they replaced him with.
So
Well,
so
that's
right
not
now,
replacement.
John, obviously we keep doing breaking news every other day. We don't know what else is going to happen. But as of right now, is it still the Chiefs division to lose?
Ah, of course. I mean, it's just like last year when everybody, like you said, when they were 3-4 and everybody was counting them out. It's like, how can you kill them until they're actually dead? How can you kill them? It's been their division for a very long time. Mahomes has been in the AFC Championship every year that he's been a starter. So until the Chiefs are knocked off that throne, how can I go against them? They have 1-5 back there. And as long as you have 1-5, it really doesn't matter what else you got because 1-5 is really all you need.
Oh,
I
well,
mean, the guy
couldn't
makes
beat the
magic.
Bengals.
You know what I
Couldn't
mean?
beat
Like
the
the
Bengals.
guy makes magic out of nothing. So till you lose Mahomes,
So
I
he
can't
couldn't
bet
beat the-
against.
I could be tripping, but the reigning Super Bowl champs are in the NFC. Is it me or has the NFC been very stale this offseason? Every major move we've talked about has been in the AFC, predominantly the AFC West, but even outside of the AFC West, we see Von Miller going to the Bills. We see Cleveland getting stronger, going to get Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper. The AFC has loaded up, and it is going to be a complete bloodbath.
Thank
So
you.
talk to me, E. I'm coming to you.
Thank
What
you.
move so far has intrigued you the most?
Thank you, Raylan, for finally bringing some light to this conversation because we was going to some dark places. So thank you, Raylan, for bringing some light, speaking on the fact that the entire conference, not just a division, the entire conference is top to bottom better than the other conference. This is just like the NBA. What do we always say? The Western Conference is stronger than the Eastern Conference. We're saying this now in the NFL. The AFC, quarterback-wise, is stronger than the NFC, quarterback-wise. And the NFC has the GOAT.
You know what
You
this
know
is
what I
setting
mean?
up for, Eric? You know what this is setting up for? One of those
What's it?
weird NFC East Super Bowl runs. This is what it's setting up for. The NFC is down, and one of the NFC East teams are going to somehow slide into the Super Bowl this year. This is one of those weird NFC East. I know it. I can feel it. It's one of those
Who?
weird years
John?
where an NFC East
John?
team just slides into the damn
Who?
Super Bowl.
Hey, John,
I'm
from
telling
your
you.
lips to the football god's ears, because as long as it ain't Dallas, I'm happy.
Hey,
Let's be very
hey,
clear
settle
about
down.
that.
We're
But
not
getting
talking
back
about
to
Dallas.
getting back to what Raylan was saying, the entire AFC, Russell Wilson went to Denver. Von Miller went to Buffalo. We're talking all-star, superstars, potential Hall of Fame players, Super Bowl champion players are all going over to the conference. It's like everybody wants to get at Patrick Mahomes because it's the Ric Flair mentality. To beat a man, woo!
Woo!
You got to beat the man. You know what I mean? Someone is going to do a Scott Hall. Rest in peace to him, and they're going to be just like this. You know what I'm saying? Hard work pays off. Dreams do come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. And one of them is going to take out Patrick Mahomes because they want to be able to say, before Tom Brady rides off into the sunset, we going to dethrone the future, and we going to cement our spot in that light.
Right. Right.
Jacob
Well,
has
look,
some
I gotta
difficulties. He got back in. Hold on just a second, Mike. Let me get Jacob in here to talk about all these moves in the AFC. You know, we kind of focusing on the AFC West, but again, the Bills went and got some players. Cleveland got bet. Like, is the AFC that much better than the NFC now?
Here's the issue, though. The Rams still are the champions. But by the way, got a question for you. How did Carrots and Noodle get the disclaimer before I did? I have no clue because I'm usually the controversial one, you know. But they're
just jealous because I'm right.
Yeah, I get one of the things is I believe that to answer a question from earlier, I believe the Chiefs have 1, maybe 2 more years, but it also depends on how long Andy Reid wants to go because I'm not sure that they can keep going with that. I mean, Andy Reid is still a leader. He's still a leader in the end. And it's like that could also depend. And if you pick the wrong coach, it's over. That's over on that. So you got to decide on that one also. So I see 1, another year, maybe 2 for the Chiefs. And as far as the NFC, yeah, of course they kind of caught up because the Rams did. So of course it's not on the. I don't believe anybody in the NFC East is going to do anything. And the North, we already have that idea. So really, it's basically being carried by the Rams and maybe most of the NFC West. But until the AFC takes it back, it's still the NFC. They got the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I look at the Rams this way. Can you? Allen Robinson, that guy was in Matt Nagy's terrible offense, and everybody's like, God, this guy needs more and more and more. Now he's going to be next to Cooper Kupp. Are you kidding? And Robert Woods comes
and
back.
Van Jefferson.
Yeah, Robert Woods comes back, and Van Jefferson.
Stop for a second, Mike. We're going to talk about Cooper Kupp. We're going to talk about Robert Woods. Let's talk about the fact that it will be another receiver that will have a career year playing next to Matt Stafford. Carry on, Mike.
Stafford, 100%. You didn't have to stop me. I was going to say that for you. I was going to say, and Matt Stafford's going to get another guy, probably an All-Pro, not just Pro Bowl, but All-Pro. He'll be voted to the All-Pro team, which, again, Robinson, we know what he can do. I mean, he's sick. But, yeah, I mean, overall, and we talked about it, like when when J.C. Jackson, we were talking about the Chargers the other night, Raylan, like, you're going to have to play defense. And, of course, you guys know, and Eric knows this, I'm about defensive football. I could live with the 17-14 game every game of the year. Absolutely love it. Don't need 50 points because – you can't sneeze on a freaking receiver and get a penalty. But, yeah, talent-wise, I mean, Von Miller was worth it. And John, come on, you need to get a disclaimer. I don't care if you get Chandler Jones. The man, since he's come in the league, leads the league in sacks. 112, buddy. So don't tell me that doesn't make a difference when he can. I don't care. I don't know because it does matter. Because if you had anybody on a defense like that, guess what? Here, not rocket science. They don't have to cover long. When you're getting to the quarterback, like everybody used to get to Eli Manning when Eric and I used to trade texts smiling because Eli Manning had 1.9 seconds to throw the ball. 1.9 in the NFL. Nobody can do it. Not even everybody's little dreamboat Tom Brady. He would have got killed. 1.9 seconds. Chandler Jones and Crosby getting to a quarterback, guess what? You don't get outside the pocket. Von Miller can still get there, and he doesn't have to play 50, 60, 70 snaps a game because of what Buffalo has. So to Eric's point, too, yeah, Buffalo got better with Von Miller because you're going to get to the quarterback, and Josh Allen has more toys. So, look, top to bottom, Raylan, yes, the AFC, it pains me to say this, and Eric knows it, because all those years growing up, it was 14 straight Super Bowls for the NFC till the piece of crap Packers choked. And, did I say that out loud, Eric? I'm sorry. Yeah, before the Packers choked. But the AFC now, yeah, the NFC might be able to get a Super Bowl team here or there, but overall dominance, dude, it's the AFC for the next, I'd say, 5 years easily.
So let me get over to John. I'm gonna get his fan and media perspective all of this moving around, and the biggest move your guys made was going to get a backup quarterback. And there's no shade, no disrespect. As a fan, right? How are you feeling about the moves or the lack thereof? With all this commotion
This is
going
as
on around
bad
the AFC.
as when Raylan said that the Broncos were a quarterback away. This is as asinine as that comment. Okay, you haven't seen anything we've done. I mean, the Dolphins have had plenty of pieces, and you're saying the best move they made is a backup quarterback. Like, the things that the Dolphins have had to do is improve the run game and improve the offensive line. And they've improved the run game. They've improved the offensive line. They're doing exactly what Mike McDaniel wants to do. He wants to create the 49ers offense in the Miami Dolphins. That's exactly what he plans to do. He's going to turn Jalen Waddle into Deebo Samuel. That's exactly what he wants to do. That's exactly what he said that he wants to do. He said if you thought Jalen Waddle, who had over 100 catches in his rookie year, touched the ball a lot in his rookie year, wait until you see what I do now that I got my hands on him. Okay. That's from Mike McDaniel, who knows what he's doing. He created Deebo, okay? He ran that offense, and he ran it well.
He plugged Deebo in. He didn't create Deebo, and Deebo's a lot stronger runner than Jalen Waddle.
He created this receiver becoming a running back. I'm telling you, if you want to know, you asked me the fan perspective, the media perspective on the Dolphins. I'm giving it to you. That's what Mike McDaniel is trying. That's what he's doing with the Dolphins. That's why he got Raheem Mostert. That's why he got Chase Edmonds, because he's trying to do the same thing he did with the Niners with the Dolphins.
So
absolutely,
really quick, hold on a second. Let me defend myself, because John said it was an asinine statement for me to say the Broncos were a quarterback away. You mean the Broncos? Hold on, really quick. You mean the Broncos, who had the number 3 defense in the NFL last year,
in points given up, but not yards.
They have a great running back tandem in Melvin Gordon, Javonte Williams. They have Cortland Sutton and Tim Patrick. But when I made that comment, this was the offseason. Did he? I don't know what that shot was for. I have no idea what that shot was for.
He doesn't believe anything I say when it comes to the Dolphins, so he's just taking a shot.
It wasn't just Ray Lynn. That was the common thought process throughout the offseason. The Denver Broncos are one of the teams that people felt like if they can land a quarterback with what they already had,
they can compete.
Bridgewater wasn't it.
But it's not Super Bowl.
They were already competing. They were 7-10 last year.
They were fool's gold. They were fool's gold last year.
Okay, Raylan, he's done. I got to jump in. First of all, the Broncos were a quarterback away. Secondly, if you know anything about NFL defense, I could care less about yards, because if somebody's up big, all the other team's doing is chucking it around. Points scored is the only thing that defensive coordinators who I've interviewed, and off the record, they won't sit there and say it during the interview, they want their defense to attack, but points scored is what they care about. I don't care if you move it between the 20s. If you can't get in the end zone, that's what they care about. So great, they gave up the least amount of yards defensively, or this team gave up the most yards
his quarterback
defensively.
Gave up the most yards in the NFL.
I don't care. I don't care. It comes to points. If you don't score more than the other team, I know it's hard to figure out in Miami because they can hardly be consistent. You don't win the game if you don't score more. And look, I like Jalen Waddle's talent, but Deebo Samuel is a lot bigger and a lot stronger than Jalen Waddle. He ain't going to be Deebo. There's one Deebo. This comes from a Cowboys fan who, as Eric knows, hates the Niners. So I'm telling you right now, he can run those concepts, and I like the Chase Edmonds pickup. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's an every down back, but for what they want to do to get most starts,
they don't have to do that.
Right, because here they were kind of making him that 3 down back before he got banged up and before Connor came in. But what I'm saying is, you can mix him in as well. You're still not – Buffalo's defense is still going to punch everybody in the mouth in that division. So, again, defensive yards, everybody that hangs their hat on that stat, I laugh at, because when somebody's chucking the ball down by 28 points, the other defensive coordinator is happy because his defense stopped them from getting in the end zone. So I can care less about yards. It's all about points. And on that note, I got to go because my phone's...
So I got to ask. So when a quarterback throws 5,000 yards, that doesn't matter. It's only the touchdowns that he throws. Does that count?
No, it does.
The yards don't matter?
Defensive coordinators don't care.
No.
When
The yards don't matter. What do the yards
John,
matter? As
when
long
did
as you score
get those
points,
yards?
right?
John, when did you get those yards? Were you down by 28 points? Was
So
your
if
team
Deshaun
down?
Watson throws 5,000
team
yards,
down?
that does not
Okay.
matter.
Seriously, you're like
All
a
that matters
12-year-old
is
that
if he
can't
gets
answer
in
a
the end zone or
question.
not, right?
When did you get those yards? Were you down by 28 points? If a quarterback throws for 400 yards in a game, but 450, but you lose by 27, what good is that? Yes, the yards do matter statistics, but the
So
defense
the
doesn't care
Broncos
if they give
metrics,
up
they were all
450.
middle of the road, except points scored. They were all middle of the road,
Oh
every
my
other
God.
statistic. They were middle of the road. They were an
Okay,
average defense aside
Great.
from points
Points
scored.
scored. There you go. Points scored. What do you have to do to win games? Score points.
It's not all
Score
about
points.
points. The other stats matter too.
It's not
That's
all
why they win.
Raylan, it's not all about points.
Can we let
My
Jacob
bad.
get
Let
a
me
word
reel
in
it in.
edgewise? Can we let Jacob get a word in edgewise? This man is patiently.
I'm just having a
been-
blast watching.
Oh,
these
I
two.
am too. John and Mike, listen, like Raylan said, we listen to two of them go at it every Monday and Wednesday. You are a guest on our show, and thank you for being a part of the sports.
No,
Community. So please let us hear from you, sir, about all of this, because these two will go on for the next hour and a half. That's why I'm drinking. That's exactly why I'm drinking. Shout out to the
This is what my
sip-off.
dad used to say. My older dad used to say. It's like you just go to the bars to watch the bullshitters. You just watch them yell and just like go after each other. But no, the thing about it is the fact that one thing that Denver got better. One thing Denver got better is Melvin Gordon is gone. Bringing up Melvin Gordon, gone. The guy is the Jalen Reagor of running backs. Cannot hold on to a ball. They could now actually be able to hold on to a ball and actually score touchdowns, especially with a real quarterback. So they've got those. Miami, I will say this. I like Mike McDaniel. Like him a ton. I loved him in San Francisco. This is the thing. It's like, I'm just one of those things. I'm watching back. I want to analyze and see what he's going to do there because I'm kind of excited to watch what he'll do. He's kind of a Harvard graduate. He might be. Who knows? The way he thinks. So the thing is, though, I want to see it because I want him to be better because we had our own Harvard graduate in Chicago who stunk, who was terrible. Mark Trestman. We had our own. He was horrible. I want McDaniel to do better. But really, overall, for at least one more year, it's still KC's, at least until. I don't know how long Andy Reid's got, but now the AFC West is wide open, and then the rest of this way. Until that fact, though, as far as who is the best, it's still in the end of the Super Bowl. It is the Super Bowl. That is where it matters. But I will say this, Cartenuto, you're right. It's points. In the end, it's points. But at the same time, it also, the biggest thing also is the fact that this is a different day, different era. 85 Bears are still known because not just points, but yards. It's still a different era. You give up a lot more. It's not a run game. It's a pass game. But at the same time, so we get to this part, but it is now, the thing about it is points, but at the same time, it looks dominant to the world when the yards are given up too, when there's less yards given up. So it's both.
Do this.
The less yards
Mike
you
said
give
he
up,
got to get ready to
better
go.
field position.
And we can start with Mike. And I'm going to toss this around. And when it's like this, I got to put the timer on you. Mike, talk to us. So far, who has won the offseason?
Oh, man. I got to pick one team?
I know how difficult that is for you.
I know. Who's won the offseason? Look, it's not just because it's today. I'm going with the Cleveland Brownies, baby. You got the quarterback that can match all the quarterbacks in that division, and as we know, can go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes too from a talent standpoint. So I say the Browns, and plus they got Eric's best friend. I gotta give a little shout to Eric. They got Eric's best friend, Amari Cooper. So he's gonna blow up, and Eric will be happy about that. But it's like one and then one B through one Z. It's crazy.
Only Mike can you give 30 seconds, and he'll use the 30 seconds twice. Eric, the hardest working man in show business, who has won free agency or off season?
Off season. You know, I'm gonna go with the fact that Tampa got Tom Brady for one more year. They franchise tagged Chris Godwin, Ryan Jensen. I believe he came back. You know, Gronk's gonna come back. I think they're gonna find a way. So I'm gonna say the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Let's get our guest in here, the pundit, Mr. Jacob Christensen. Talk to us, sir.
Ask me on April 1st, and I'll say the Bears. But no, seriously, they're horrible. Right now, I'm gonna at this point in time, I'm gonna have to say the Rams. Right now, at this point, just because of they keep adding. You're adding your weapons. You're adding your weapons. You're adding them to a Super Bowl team, and then you gave the Chiefs a little, and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just Juju Smith-Schuster is still better than Pringle, but that's still cog in the wheel. But let me say the Rams right now.
John Shear.
First of all, Jacob looks like a Scotch guy. Looks like he drinks Scotch. I think the Chargers, definitely the Chargers, because J.C. Jackson, Sebastian Joseph Day, Khalil Mack, like you're adding defense in a division where there's a ton of offense, and you have to be able to defend Mahomes and company. Has to be the Chargers. There's nobody else. There's nothing else that comes close to what they've gone out and done.
That's a good point,
it.
too.
I don't need 2 30-second clocks like Mike.
I'm going to give the lamest answer and say we, the fans, are winning. We are going to get some amazing football next year. Some amazing football, like especially in the AFC. We talked about the young quarterbacks they had in Burrow, Herbert, Mahomes, Josh Allen. Now you add Deshaun Watson to that, Lamar Jackson, add Russell Wilson to that. I'm just excited to see football next year. Listen, we're going to be doing this all day, every day. Every time it's breaking news, you're going to see the Sideline Sports and the Sports Arena bringing you the content. Let's get the crew back in here to sign off. We got our man, Eric Wilson. We got John Shear. We got Jacob Christian. We got Michael Caratanudo. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us.
You gave a me answer, Raylan. The fans. You made me pick one team, and you took the fans. Cheater.
Listen, man. Listen, first off, I'm in host mode. I was just letting y'all get busy. I was enjoying the show. That is what I was doing. But do not forget, you can catch the Sports Arena Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 o'clock on Facebook Live, on YouTube. Until next time,